out of Shenzhen. Let's see if there are people tuning in a second. Please let me know in the comments once you join the live stream. Seems like we've got no viewers yet. I'll keep on walking. Yay, 4 persons. Welcome everybody. This is an unplanned and very spontaneous live stream by Miriam and myself. Here live from Shenzhen, China. Wow, just crossing the street. Actually, what I try to do here is do a little bit of a test. You know, the last time when I was in China, I didn't have a, well, let's put it like this. I was at the Shanghai Auto Show, right? And I did a little live stream and the quality wasn't ideal. So this time I'm using a different tech. So looking forward whether or not this goes well. Yay, somebody else was in Shenzhen on Monday. Cool. All right, now we've got a couple of viewers. Please give me some feedback whether or not the stream is looking all right for you. So are there any lags? Is the quality all right? Sound might not be the best because I don't have a microphone with me, but okay, no problem. No, sorry, I just talk to Miriam sometimes. We're actually right now on our way to dinner here in Shenzhen. Yeah, we're meeting somebody from a company called Insta360. Yeah, which happens to be a big investment of a company that I cover here on the channel called Xunlei XNet. Right, cool. Thank you guys for the feedback here. I see your comments. Wow, Miguel, thank you for saying you look more beautiful in China than in Germany. Well, no wonder. In Germany, people are always in bad mood and we've got not the great weather. And here it's now warm. And yeah, let's see how the Shenzhen people are treating us. You can also feel free to post any questions in the comment section. I think I can go through some of them. And we can do this live stream together spontaneous. So I want to basically check out whether or not this would be a good setup here for future live streams out of China, because as you know, as it happens, China doesn't have open internet, right? So depending on some VPN technologies and such to do live streams from this great place called Shenzhen or other cities. On the weekend, by the way, I might be in Hong Kong, which is just around the corner. And Hong Kong, by the way, not part of mainland China, is having just the internet connectivity that we are enjoying in the West. So meaning most of the apps are not blocked, like Facebook, Instagram, and so on. It's a different tech ecosystem, way different to what we have here in Shenzhen. When are you buying Miriam the LV bag? Somebody has followed us on Twitter. It was actually Dior, right? Yeah, I know. Yeah, Miriam is very keen on that. When Chinese stocks moon again, I'll buy it. Oh, we've got a viewer from Scotland. Beautiful. I don't know.
There's a Scottish pub here.
A Scottish pub here?
Yeah.
Okay, come to China. More people should come to China. You don't miss on things like Scottish pubs. And if you want to know how you get set up with internet connectivity and stuff, just shoot me a message. And best if you join my Patreon community. This is where we talk every day and where you can send me direct messages. So much for my advertisement here. Yeah, so the news is we're back in China. That was quite spontaneous, to be honest. So we booked a flight one day before flying. And yeah, just spending some time here visiting business partners and doing on the ground content and research, due diligence, that sort of stuff. Currently planning for Shenzhen, Hong Kong, and then Shanghai. Maybe a couple of more cities in between, but unlikely it's going to be Beijing this time. Nice greetings from Holland. Stream is going good. James Le, you are not allowed to travel by yourself, Marcel. No, this is my Aufpasser, we would say in German.
You've just been to China for 4 weeks by yourself.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, maybe I can give you a look at the traffic here. Let's see what kind of cars we spot. Over there you see a Tesla in front waiting. Any NIO cars? No. I can spot a Seeker. What else? Here's a BYD coming. Yeah, this is the BYD city here, but it's very much fun to watch all of the EVs here. Give you a little bit of the scenery here. Oh, this is an Avatar. This is actually a Huawei powered car, the Avatar, which has a very good software interface, very good autonomous driving capabilities. All right, couple of Teslas here, but not a NIO spotted so far at this little intersection here. So yeah, great to know that this stream is working good. I think then I will rely on this technology for making further streams. What else? Let's go through some comments here. Shoot me your questions about China, about the stock markets, about NIO, about other potential investments. I'll use this time until we reach the restaurant where we'll be meeting somebody from a Xunlei invested company. I think she's German, right? Yeah. And wow, in the background, buildings and construction sites everywhere. What about what I would like to know is how the Abu Dhabi partnership could develop. Yeah, very good question, Oleg. No, that's not Oleg, that's Ray. If you've watched my video when the investment happened, then you might know that I really didn't see the strategic aspect of this investment so far, really. Despite a couple of things where I speculated that they might be the case, but which we don't know for sure, right? So still waiting on some news, for example, that Abu Dhabi may drop a large order, or maybe they, something that I haven't talked about yet. Why not open a factory in Abu Dhabi, similar to what Lucid did with Saudi Arabia? Might be one thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, here's an NIO. ET5. Oh, covered by this lovely truck. Yeah, but looking good in blue. Light blue ET5. Right. To be honest, and I did another video on this when I was in Shenzhen the last time. Shenzhen is not really a hot city for NIO. Unfortunately, I talked about how the regions are very different in China, and I think we will see many more NIOs on the streets in Shanghai. Not in Beijing this time because we're not going there, but Beijing is also super hot for NIO. Here's
Maybe
here's more
soon
like
in Hong
BYD and GAC Ion. Yeah, soon in Hong Kong. Well, currently we won't see any NIOs in Hong Kong.
Yes, but I think Hong Kong is a great market for NIO.
Yeah. How's the China economy going to impact high-end NIO car sales? Yeah, it's a good question. One of the reasons why we are back, gathering on the ground intel on how we think the economy is going. So far, we've just been to a mall, which was
Luxury mall. It was a luxury mall. It was packed with stores like from Gucci, Dior, you name it, and all the shops were packed actually. People really like to shop luxury stuff right now. But the difference is they don't go overseas anymore to do it.
yeah, and that's yeah, on a weekday. So
Look
of
at
course
this
the weekend will be more packed. Okay, so another intersection. Let's watch cars again together. So here, oh, it's green. Yeah, okay, we can go one more. Lots of Teslas in there, and some BBA. That's how they call Mercedes-Benz, Audi, and Bauma, BMW. Here's a nice Porsche. Okay, here is a VW. Wow. And this is GAC Ion. I love this. Nice, very affordable EV. Here, a black-looking Li Auto. Yeah, looks really cool. BMW, Porsche, BYD. Oh, he let us through. Thanks. BYD. Beautiful.
It looks like an Ion.
No, it's yeah. Another Li Xiang. Looks like they are selling very well here. So Li Auto. She's waving at me. And here's lots of construction going on. So yeah, I guess they won't stop, you know, developing and building here in hot cities like Shenzhen. But overall, surely the question is like how well China's economy is doing, and the latest news have been some downgrades by investment banks, previously guiding for more than 6% growth, but now more to 5.5. And so I guess with that, question marks about the strength of the reopening, right? We've seen that latest economic data which came out wasn't pointing at the a super quick rebound, but although some positives in there here and there, but I guess many in the stock markets reflected that, right? We had this time where Chinese stocks were outperforming US stocks on the upside, where everyone was betting for a nice quick reopening, maybe lots of the China shorts covering their bets. But then now recently a very bleak performance, and the US is doing much better in terms of stock performance. And we'll see if we have a second run up in Chinese equities soonish, betting towards a better end of the year. There's lots of whisper and talk around potential of subsidies or government stimulus. I'm not sure about this. We'll see. This new administration isn't in for a long time yet, but we'll see which path they go down and whether or not there might be a more natural uptake after people, basically they have been a little bit cautious and conservative in spending because of how fast the COVID restrictions came and went away again. So yeah, the uncertainty, I think, is something that troubles people here. But as we just said, like our experience, once again, right now in the mall, like people are out and consuming, and but certainly it might not be everywhere like this, right? But now,
the last time we've been here, we also went to malls which were pretty empty.
Yeah, which one?
In Shanghai.
Shanghai?
Yeah.
careful. In Shanghai? I don't remember which one.
The one that is close to the headquarters of the tech companies. It's called the AI Mall, like the Artificial Intelligence Mall.
Oh yeah, but that's...
And we were a bit disappointed.
Yeah, but that's kind of in the suburbs, like outside of Shanghai.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we don't have a comparison because that was a pretty new mall and we haven't been there before. Yeah, but all right, let's say at least when you are reading the news, then certainly you feel that China is in a depression, right? But to be honest, like my first impressions are not like this. Although of course there have been some shops closed in the Beijing airport when we flew in. But to be honest, I think Beijing airport wasn't always or was always not very and super busy, right? But maybe there are still some effects from the, from having less flights. But now the good news is that, and that was part of the Blinken visit, that China and US will step up the number of flights between the countries. And I mentioned that one before. For me, this is a huge bullish factor when it comes to China-US relations, because I think, we didn't have all of those meetings before happening. And what you need is actually those people sitting on a table, or better even at a restaurant, having a beer together and discussing, and just resolving conflicts, right? And behave like adults and humans again. And if the number of flights are increasing, then this is perfect because business is happy to come to China and to interact, and maybe politicians too.
Packed.
Our flight was packed?
Yes.
Yeah. But we flew from Germany, so for the US might be much more difficult. And little hint, we flew with Air China, so we could fly over Russia. That's also much easier than the Western companies who cannot fly over Russia currently. So, man, very difficult times we live in, right? I think we're now approaching the Tencent building, if I'm not mistaken.
One of the Tencent buildings. There are
One of
several
them.
in Shenzhen.
Let me show you this view. Shenzhen is such a big city. I'm still not very familiar with it, to be honest.
That's why we're walking.
Yeah, that's the Tencent headquarters. Or is it the headquarters? Maybe
no, I
not.
don't think so. It's the headquarters. I don't think it's the headquarters.
Oh yeah.
The headquarters further down.
Yeah, and this has a different building form, architecture, yeah. So, watch the traffic again. Not too many interesting cars yet.
Audi Hi-Fi.
Hi-Fi?
Yeah.
Oh. Tesla.
It's BYD joint venture.
Okay. Right. And by the way, oh, I missed it. And this one, Wuling, the mini EV, I love them. Are not very popular in the city because it's difficult for them to get a license plate here, but it's actually one of the most sold EVs in China. Wow, look at this view. Shenzhen is a pretty green city. And of course, lots of new infrastructure everywhere. New development projects everywhere. All right, let's take some more questions. Whoops, let me bring up the chat. Show me your questions, guys. Is my Alibaba investment safe? Well, now I should say the YouTuber phrase that investment is dangerous and you can lose all your money. So investment is never safe, right? So one way to think about it is that if the stock price is low, lots of risk is already priced in, lots of negativity is priced in. So actually, in a way, it's safer if the stock is down. However, it's also sometimes down for a reason, right? And if you are following this channel, you know that I'm not a really big Alibaba bull. So Miriam and I, we ran our own cross-border e-commerce app in the past. So we launched an app for Chinese people to download to actually buy goods from Germany and have sent them over from Germany to China. And so, you know, quite a bit of expertise in this sector. And I can tell you, maybe it's similar to the EV sector. There's lots of competition. It's very, very tough. And I had some touch points with Alibaba back then, and you know, I really just don't like too much how this company is run. I think, of course, it's a great company. They're doing lots of stuff in different fields and sections, but nothing where I personally would invest. They have investments in Xpeng, which just drove by. I like this company better, Tencent. I have a personal investment in Tencent. But yeah, if you just generally want to invest in China, I mean, of course, Alibaba is a big name. It's having a big weight in lots of funds. So in case that, you know, China stocks get a bid and rise again, Alibaba will rise for sure. I just very recently did my first e-commerce investment by buying shares in Jingdong, so JD.com. What I just said, I usually don't buy e-commerce stocks, but yeah, this one is very down, right? And it's also a little bit more volatile, so it's doing bigger jumps on the downside as well as on the upside. And so for me, it's kind of a tactical bet. I don't think it's a long-term invest for me, but on the other hand, it's a little bit of interesting here that they are doing, you know, some AI stuff, which they just announced. They have the logistics arm, but Alibaba has that too with Cainiao, right? But overall, JD is more focused on the premium sector, and to me, appears to be a little bit more of the quality company there in the e-commerce field. Although, of course, they also all of them have issues with what Pinduoduo, PDD is doing. So yeah, not my my most favorite sector to invest. All right, let's take more questions. Any word on EHang? Yeah. Hey, Abby. Actually, I'm in contact with the investor relations team of EHang. I've never covered them on the channel. I don't own the stock. And to be honest, maybe I tweeted that out sometimes. By the way, if you're not following me on Twitter yet, you can find me there at @_mm85, or you'll also find Miriam there, or our company Twitter. And I think I tweeted before that I'm not very bullish on the prospects of flying drones for personal transport and stuff. Surely they also have different applications of their technology. But yeah, I'm just a little bit cautious on the prospects of with the noise and everything like that. But on the other hand, like especially here in Shenzhen, they're moving fast. Like they just bought some deal with a German startup called Lilium, right? They just bought I think like 50 of those drones or something like that. And so yeah, just to finish my thought before I let Miriam speak, I'm in contact with the investor relations of EHang and might visit them in Guangzhou possibly next week. Maybe sit down with them. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what kind of content you like me to create about the company. I know nothing about them other than Bailey Gifford being invested in them, which is always nice to have them as a wing investor, and I surely do their due diligence. So yeah, appreciate that. But again, not my cup of tea to invest there. But stock been doing quite well. Of course, also down 80-90% from the COVID hype bubble, but yeah, has recovered more than other Chinese small caps so far. All right, Miriam, you want to talk?
No, I just wanted to add that in Germany in the last 3 years, the biggest increase in aviation was for private jets.
Oh.
So I think there is actually a market for it. But I could imagine that it's really difficult to launch anything with drones in Germany.
Yeah,
but there should be a demand.
Yeah. I'm very passionate about electrifying everything of transport because it makes a lot of sense. But of course, batteries in the area of airplanes or so on are not really super feasible yet. But you know, if that's the vision of EHang, that might be interesting. You know, if they get ahead like this. And now I lost my thought, but showing you Tencent again. Whoa. That's a nice little walk. I always enjoy walking in China, and actually my step count is much higher here than in Germany, which is healthy, I suppose. I need to track it with my SAP Health app. Alright, shoot me your questions. Anything you can find out about Didi Hong Kong listing will be greatly appreciated. Alright? Yeah, Didi. To be honest, I use an app called Gaudo here, which is a map service where you can also enter, order cars, cabs, Ubers. You can also do that within Alipay, you can do that within WeChat. And Didi really fucked up the IPO landscape for the entire China space, to be honest, with their greedy management. So that's when everything started, like with the crackdowns in the media at least, and you know, investor sentiment in Chinese US listed equities going down. So I don't really like the company, to be honest. Oh man, is there any company that I like actually? Just thinking about it. But yeah, maybe I can find out more stuff.
Okay, I am excited about Alipay. Every time I use Alipay, I love the mini program feature. It works so well. So if you can see all the bicycles here, you can just download. You don't need to download an extra app. You can use all these services just with one QR code reader in your Alipay app. I use the same tool to rent batteries for my phone. I use the same tool for going on the subway, for taking a cab. Very excited about this in general, mini programs.
Here you go. That's your pitch to buy Alibaba shares, which still owns Alipay as of now, but I think they're splitting up, right? Are you guys now living there? No, Carl. It's our second time in China this year. We've been back in Europe in the meantime, but now again in China just for a short time, unfortunately. Yep. Are you using Meituan app? Yeah, I'm using Meituan, but mostly actually just for food delivery. They offer much more. And I'm also using an app called Dianping, which is also owned by Meituan as far as I'm informed, which is kind of an app where you can find all types of services from
massage, hairdresser, dry cleaners.
Exactly.
Everything that has a service in the name.
Yep. Let me know again in the comments, please, whether or not this stream is laggy or how the quality is. Audio is possibly not that great because it's a little bit windy and I don't have an external microphone. But I hope that the stream itself is doing great. This would be promising for future streams from China. Today I just decided to do this quickly, just to test while I'm walking to my dinner place. Cool. So Sid Meier said the CRC mall in Shenzhen, in Nanshan district is very nice. Okay, need to check it out. And there's a garden rooftop. Cool. All the NIO delisting worries over, Roger. Yeah, as of now, they are over, but of course it can always change again. So, you know, the PCAOB determined that they have access to the audit papers provided by the Chinese auditors. So, yeah, that sort of fear is gone. if China wouldn't have allowed them to access that sort of stuff and do their work properly, then that would have been very, very bad. As of now, those fears should be gone. But anyways, if you buy a stock, then that piece of paper literally states your ownership in a company. And even if a company is getting delisted, you still own that piece of paper, that share, right? Of course, you could then think of transferring it, for example, to a broker that can help you trade the shares in Hong Kong or Singapore. So, that option always also was viable for NIO. But of course, currently, there doesn't look to be a delisting. What I mean that it can change always is, of course, at some point in time, Chinese authorities could also decide that, look, we're not giving PCAOB access anymore, so we don't act like we did before. And in that case, of course, the deadlines would kick in again, and there would be a count of, I think, 3 consecutive years in which, if PCAOB doesn't get access to the work papers of the auditors, companies could get kicked off the exchanges, or maybe they even lowered it to only 1 year. So yeah, it would be a quite immediate danger then, in a way. But the question back to you is, why would you assume that this would be the case if they allowed it to happen in the first place, right? And the last bit of information I think we had was that they did in fact found some problems in the work papers, and that the media used it again to create fear headlines, which were really bad. How there are problems with the audits of Chinese companies, right? So everyone told you Chinese companies are cheating. But then if you actually read the article by the PCAOB, the official one, in the small print, stuff that nobody reads, right? They said these problems that we found are common, and we also found finding them in any other audit which we do around the world. And companies can, of course, resolve them. Or not the companies, because it's the issue of the auditors. A lot of misperception. It's not the companies that are getting audited. The companies are audited, but it's about the audits themselves. The audits are getting audited in a way. And they look if the auditors are doing their work in a nice way. Oh, we are passing by the NIO house. Yay, big NIO house there. So lots of NIOs on the road here, I guess. Sorry, it's a bit shaky now. I'm also sweating. Which district is this? This might be Nanshan, right? Oh man, I've not the greatest orientation in Shenzhen, to be honest. Big Xpeng store, looks like a flagship store. You also get an Xpeng car passing by here. Haidian, BYD. Carl is asking, have you heard about the Chinese luxury car manufacturer Human Horizons or Hi-Fi? Would be good to hear your thoughts as they want to take on Mercedes. Yes, of course I heard of them. The Saudis did take an investment in this company. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll see them here on the street today.
There's even the drone.
Oh yeah, this is one of the bigger Xpeng stores which features the drone. Let me see. If you spot another Hi-Fi, let me know. Yeah, of course I know about them, and I have actually test driven it. The Hi-Fi, the set car. It's very, very cyberpunk-like, and I really liked it, to my surprise, because I'm not into such kind of supercars, or which are more about showing off, which I think is the main purpose of this car. But it was really fun to ride in it. It's fast, it's very techy, it's having lots of really rubbish, I would say, gimmicks. But the experience is something extraordinary. Oh, here we can see probably a test ride of a NIO ES8, the new NIO ES8. We spotted. This is a old Porsche. Let's go to the Xpeng store. Yeah, I mean the cars are full of gimmicks like programmable lights, wing doors and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. And I don't think they are going to compete with Mercedes at all. Yeah, maybe in the future with some new cars, but currently it's more like a fun car. It's something more like to show off, and you can do that at a very low price, more of an affordable price. So I'm actually quite bullish on them. Yeah, it's quite refreshing and innovative what they show. Oh, okay, we're almost at our dinner place, so let's see if we got some more interesting questions. Are you gonna test drive the ES6 and the ET5 Touring? You bet I will. Yes, of course. Yeah. Oh, nice wind now here. It's a little bit cooling. Yeah, fancy mall in the background. Yeah, of course, this is where people hang out in China. So malls everywhere. So does this look to you like a declining country that is close to collapse? You decide for yourself. Whew. It's so hot here now. Yes. Again, like if you are in Shenzhen or if you're in Hong Kong and you know anybody I should talk to for an interview, for example, or you want to meet for a coffee, or if you're a patron supporter and you want to meet, especially preference for patron supporters, of course. Go to patreon.com/dongxi and support our work so we can stay independent. And you can buy us a nice food dish at some of these food stalls here. Possibly $1 or $2. Wow, skyline here, Tesla there. And the streets are super quiet. I don't know if you get this. Of course, because everything is electrified. So I bet if we go to Vietnam or other places, they also might be upcoming and very modern, but lots of more traffic noise because of the little scooters and old cars. Yeah. What else? Let me know your questions. I'll be at my dinner place soon and eat Sichuan food, and then I will spam you again on Twitter with nice pictures. Really glad that this live stream seems to be working well. Maybe it did also break up on Shanghai during the auto show, because of course there have been plenty of people at the spot. Yeah, even the 5G network of China cannot handle this anymore at some point in time, but I was also suspecting that the quality was pretty low because of course using a VPN is not ideal. Oh, Lamborghini. Yeah, that's what communism looks like. Just kidding. Tesla. I was just praising the silent streets of Shenzhen, and then this guy thinks he needs to say, I'm wrong. Lamborghini, yeah. ET7, Tesla. Yeah, Seeker X. I've seen it in person during the Shanghai Auto Show. Okay. Yeah, Miriam wants me to go to a restaurant place. Where is it?
In town.
In town, inside? Okay, let's go to the door. the entry. What's this? Mercedes, wow. The interesting stuff driving around here. Yeah, we'll actually post I guess a more in detail video about the Seeker X, but possibly only on my Patreon channel, because there isn't too much interest in YouTube videos that are not NIO topic or other hot topics. So I promise that I will, give some more insight on my experience of benchmarking all of the Chinese EV here during the auto show, and also again now during my visit, but also of course during the other days that I've been here and months. And I will give lots of more info on those different brands and makes and how they compare to each other. But that will be a little bit more nerdy, slow content, maybe longer content. So I'm not sure if I'll post it on the public channel, to be honest. Here's the Li store, Li Auto. But if you want my quick opinion, I really liked it though. I mean, especially for the price, it's looking like a very good, very, very good deal. The Seeker X, and I think I mentioned it before, but I think that the Seeker brand is much better than what I've anticipated before coming back to China after 3 years, because of course I also just saw the pictures, right? And sometimes I thought like this kind of a cheap knockoff of NIO, because they copied some of the aspects of the NIO ecosystem. But yeah, the cars are really good. I like it, especially for the price point, but also in comparison to NIO, it's not as good when it comes to the quality, in my views. That's subjective, of course. All right, I think I'll have to wrap it up here because Miriam is already waiting inside. I guess we'll meet our contact here from this Xunlei XNet investment called Insta360. Quick little fun fact: once this investment of Xunlei is going to IPO and raising capital, which I think is about to happen, then Xunlei gets so much money. What's the right word to say? I don't know. Like for the valuation which they have in this company, that is actually, I think, exceeding their market cap, which they are currently trading at. Besides having all of the cash already, and besides, making more money quarterly than what they have in a market capitalization currently. In addition to that, they will get this return on this investment which they made in Insta360. So, little fun fact about Xunlei and XNet. What else do you want me to do while I'm in China? Let me know in the comments. I'll watch it later. And thanks for doing this little test trip with me here and sticking to it and asking me lots of questions. Andrea, they're going public. They're in the making of the IPO, and Xunlei is holding, I think, an 8 to 10% stake in the company. All right, guys, thanks for watching it. Appreciate it. Please share and like. That's the currency of a YouTuber beside our support on Patreon. You guys on Patreon are funding these episodes and channel. Thanks a lot. And then see you in the next one. More content from Shenzhen and other cities in China is coming. Thanks again. And with that, I'm going to have dinner now.